Well, welcome to Mining Now, where we explore the latest in technology, innovation, and leadership across the mining industry. And I'm your host, Roy Slack. And this episode will feature Gustavo Pilger, who's the Worldwide Director of Research and Development for Dassault Systems. We're going to hear about Dassault and how they're enabling innovation in the mining industry by creating virtual environments. But before we do that, we need to tell you about our heavy industry tour, brought to you by Savonai Equipment, supplying mining equipment worldwide, and Corporate Traveler Canada, helping companies travel the globe simpler, faster, and easier. We're heading to events across North America, Africa, and Australia, and filming episodes on location. So email us at info@crownsman.com to be part of the Crownsman Heavy Industry World Tour. And now, let's start the show, and welcome, Gustavo.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you for the invite. It's a pleasure to be here to have this conversation with you today.
Great. I'm looking forward to it. Tell us a bit about yourself. How did you get to where you are today in this technology driven company?
Right, that's a good start. So I am a mining engineer to begin with, but my specialization is geostatistics, where we essentially study how to quantify and qualify mineral resources. And I started working after finishing my master's and PhD, I started working for Vale in Brazil as a geostatistician. I was in charge of 10 of iron ore mines for Vale at that time. And after that, after a couple of years, I received essentially an invite to join a consultancy company here in Australia, where I am now. And I worked for that company, Golder Associates, at that time, for about 5 years, and then it happens that BHP was reinventing or finding new ways to do mineral assessment, and I joined that technology team, the R&D team at that time, that looked after resource evaluation, resource assessment. So I joined BHP at that time as a manager of that technology group. And after that, after a few changes across BHP, I was essentially for a period of time in charge of acting as VP technology for BHP. And then the opportunity here at Dassault Systèmes came about back in end of 15 when I joined Dassault Systèmes at our GEOVIA brand as the CTO for GEOVIA at that time. So my involvement with technology then started back at BHP when I was working for that R&D team or managing that R&D team there about resource evaluation. And then here at Dassault Systèmes, I started as CTO for GEOVIA, and about 3 years ago, I was then invited to lead the GEOVIA R&D team worldwide for GEOVIA. And yeah, I think this tells a little bit about myself and how I ended up where I am now.
Well, great. It's great to have you on the show, and I've got lots of questions. I'm a mining engineer as well, but I never dealt with the type of things you're dealing with now, and there's some pretty amazing stuff. One thing I did recognize when I looked a bit at the company, this is a huge company. And of course, you're not involved just in mining. There's a number of industries that Dassault is working in.
Yeah, absolutely. Dassault Systèmes is a large company. It is a technology data science company. We are about 22,000 people worldwide. And R&D, Dassault Systèmes is an R&D company. R&D makes the bulk of that 20,000 or so population. And yeah, it's true that we provide solutions for 11 different industries in 66 to 69 segments across these industries. And one of these industries is infrastructure, energy, and materials, in which mining sits, right? So, and as part of that value proposition for as Dassault Systèmes, to serve all these multitude of industries and segments, we are structured across brands. So there is a brand for that essentially tackles or addresses the main challenges of a given industry. But we do lots of cross-industry innovation as well. I'll give you an example. For example, our CATIA, the brand, is in charge of design, all sorts of three-dimensional design that is used across multiple industries, from aviation to in transport and mobility to package of goods of stuff. And GEOVIA is a brand of Dassault Systèmes that looks after primarily the mining segment of the infrastructure, energy, and materials. But we also provide solutions for other industries as well, such as the architecture, engineering, construction, to name one. So there are lots of brands across the Dassault Systèmes who develop solutions for many industries and segments. That's the main message. And we also do lots of cross-industry innovation internally across the company too.
Well, it is pretty. I was quite impressed when I started to look at the breadth of the group and the things you're doing. Before I get into some specific questions, there was a general comment in one of the corporate presentations that caught my ear, caught my eye, when you're talking about the difference between tactical innovation and transformative innovation. And I thought that was interesting because you make you explain the difference in that presentation.
Yeah, exactly. So tactical innovation, you can look at like being point solutions for improving a given process or an isolated part of a process or a sub-process. So I would say these I would classify as tactical solutions or tactical innovation, which is good, right? But to be really transformative, you in my view, you have to look at this from a multitude sort of lenses, right? It has to be connected. The data has to be connected and into a central repository, being the central source of the truth. And from that, the data is used for a multitude of purposes, being for engineering, for resource assessment and characterization, to finance and other types of applications, right? But the important thing is that once you have that common repository and a platform, a business platform approach, as I think we do, you essentially are able to connect people and processes together with data and workflows. You connect everything, right? Data, people, workflows, and you start really looking at problems or challenges from a holistic point of view. So it enables really collaboration.
Yeah, I get the picture. The tactical is optimization, where the transformative is step change. I guess in my language, but and the transformative is much more all encompassing than the piecemeal tactical approach.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. It's looking at transformative ways of doing business, right? Not only looking at tactical or point solutions, but how these solutions combined together really transform the businesses.
Well, I've got another general question for you, and I this has always interested me, and I'm going to ask about some details because there's some really interesting technology you're involved in. But people talk about the mining industry and question whether it's an innovative industry. Some people say it's old school in ways. I've always seen it as innovative, but one of our challenges hasn't been innovation so much as it's been adoption of innovation. And I don't know what you've seen on that front. Are companies starting to open up and take a, a better look at cutting edge technology these days?
Yeah, I think that's true to say that the mining industry is a very conservative industry to begin with, and when it comes to adopting new technology, yeah, it's still uh, lagging behind other industries, right? But I think there are, uh, pressing business challenges and societal challenges that are forcing every sector, every industry to think differently. And and there is no way to transform businesses these days without embracing technology. So although, yeah, the mining industry has been lagging behind, I think most miners and leaders across the mining industry have realized that there is only one way to join the club that other industries have joined, some industries many years ago, many decades ago, and really embrace technology to transform their businesses.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I'm interested in some of the things that I saw, the 3D experience platform, and I'm not sure how it ties in with GeoVia, or is GeoVia the company that has the 3D experience platform, or is it a, a group wide?
No,
Uh,
it's a group
okay.
wide strategy, if you like, that we call the 3D experience platform, right? Is a business platform that essentially makes available all the Dassault System proposition, provides all, enables all the Dassault Systems value proposition through applications and workflows embedded into it. And GEOVIA, like I said before, it is a brand of the Dassault System together with another uh, 10 or 11 brands now. So so that's why we are structured. And the platform is a company-wide a platform that enables innovation across sectors and segments.
Dassault Systèmes 3D Experience platform empowers the next generation innovators to enhance the real world with the virtual world, creating, designing, and testing the total experience, from idea to market delivery and usage. As a system of operations, the 3D Experience platform connects an organization's entire value chain into a single collaborative ecosystem, integrating every phase of a product's lifecycle. From strategy and design to engineering and sales, providing a holistic real-time vision of a business. The 3D Experience platform is comprised by a portfolio of powerful applications, unleashing the full potential of each individual. With industry solution experiences tailored for each industry, it unites people, ideas, and data seamlessly, wherever, whenever, whether running in the cloud or on-premise. As a business model, the 3D Experience platform enables companies to re-architect their value chain, from inception to creation to transaction. Exploring and reimagining roles, relationships, and new circular methods of operating. It is also an extended marketplace, directly connecting sellers with buyers, purchasers with subcontractors, and service providers with end customers. The 3D Experience platform is the only platform that both is a system of operations to run a business and a business model to transform a business. It is a catalyst, leveraging collective intelligence, agility, and efficiency to deliver a new world of sustainable innovations, capable of harmonizing product, nature, and life.
One of the expressions I liked, you can give kudos to your marketing department when they said the product proposes one version of the truth, which I thought was an interesting line. But there's there's some substance behind that. That's a key concept, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. Having the data in a central repository in the platform is key, right? Because, like I said before, this is the platform enables multi-industry innovation, and once use one data or a set of data stored on a single repository to address multiple or different challenges, right? So with that, with the platform, you have access to different applications and workflows to essentially allow professionals to do what they need to do, like a mine engineer will get access to the data, would get access to the applications to do strategic mine planning, for example, and other teams, environmental engineers, for example, will follow through using the platform, use the data stored to the platform, and dedicated applications to do what they need to do. Data scientists and as the same. So it is a business platform that combines applications and workflows from multiple disciplines.
And everyone's working with the same data.
Exactly, everyone working with the same data. We have smart processes for access control and versioning. We have coined the term product lifecycle management many years ago. So essentially, we have what it takes to manage the data in its life cycle from inception to to how this data is used for design and planning and along the along the track of a given process or workflow.
So and I can picture this. Well, I breaking down silos, or at least damaging silos. I'm not sure what the right word is there, but when you look at different departments and different areas of an operation, and when you start to work with all the same information and a reporting structure that's similar, and it must help you work together. It must, help bring the different groups together within an operation.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It does bring collaboration to a new level, right? Having one single repository and one platform to connect disciplines and professionals. Absolutely.
So one of the things that's mentioned is mining in the cloud. So not mining on the cloud or under the cloud, but you're talking about mining in the cloud. And I find that's an interesting concept. But can you explain how that ties into everything?
Yeah, exactly. So we talked about embracing technology before, and the cloud technology is one among many in the technology toolbox, if you like. And the cloud technology has been adopted successfully across many industries and segments, right? Say banking, for example, we use every day. We use cloud technology every day for other purposes as well, like Netflix, streaming movies and content through the cloud. We use the cloud every day, right? On a multitude levels. And the mining industry, like we discussed before, it's always always there is a lag.
Conservative. I like that word.
Conservative.
Yeah.
Conservative, yeah, there is a lag in terms of adopting technology. So the mining in the cloud refers to adopting the cloud for mining, for allowing mining processes to happen. Ideally, we would like to have in future a mining operation that works like a factory today in the manufacturing industry, right? It's automated, it's connected through a system of systems, connected through the cloud to adjust and align and and response to what happens at the shop floor. So ideally, we would like to achieve that vision when it comes to mining, Right. So that's why the mining in the cloud and a series of articles I wrote on that topic last year. So it's about breaking some misconceptions and really try to educate the mining industry and mining executives about the cloud. I think there are some challenges. Of course, there are. And I don't think the cloud will be for everybody, for every miner. It's most likely to be a combination, a hybrid configurations of cloud and on-premise systems that will allow miners to perform at high performance. But yeah, there are lots of some misconception I note, and some reluctance to embrace the cloud. While across other industries, we've seen no problem. In fact, everybody uses the cloud.
I think sometimes there's a preconceived notion that the cloud is just data storage, and that's it. So instead of it being on your hard drive, it's stored somewhere else. But you're leveraging all of the abilities and technologies of the cloud that are being implemented in other industries now.
Yeah, exactly. It's not only storage, there is cloud computing as well, which is really powerful, right? When it comes to data analytics, to realize heavy processes in the cloud. And there is also a financial component also, right? That has to be considered, because if you don't adopt the cloud, you have to have the infrastructure on premises. You have to have the capex to invest on the infrastructure to begin with. We need to have the personnel to maintain it, to upgrade it, to maintain it secure. So all this cost and overhead needs to be taken into account. So the cloud not only allows flexibility, scaling up and down as you need, but also allows a very financial. It's very financially attractive depending on the configuration for your business, depending on how you you implemented it. But like I said before, I think in most cases, in the mining industry, we'll be looking at a hybrid approach or hybrid configuration where we have some processes in the cloud, pushing data to the cloud, but other processes will stay on premises or leverage edge computing or other similar types of technology, because not every piece of data needs to be sent to the cloud and processed to the cloud. Many data it's more, in some situations, more efficient that the data stays close.
Well, you
the
mentioned
operation.
one of the things you mentioned was security, and I know in the companies I'm involved in and in the boardroom, we talk about cybersecurity. We don't know much about it, but it's a risk on everyone's risk um, uh, analysis. And how does cybersecurity play into all this?
Absolutely. Cybersecurity is a huge topic across industries at the moment. We just we've seen the news. We hear the news all the time. Many companies being attacked, if you like, by hackers. Yeah, this is a major concern for sure. But we need to ask ourselves the question: is our data more secure in the cloud, with a cloud operator that puts in place several layers of security to protect the data, or the data is more secure on premises or in the laptop of several different professionals that spread out across the company, right? What is more? What configuration provides more security? Of course, the cloud has been there are lots of cyber attacks at the moment, as I said before, but cloud providers do put lots of emphasis on cybersecurity and put in place several layers of security to protect the data. Of course, hackers keep keep trying to find ways to get into, but I can tell you that are very smart teams behind the providers looking at ways to prevent that. There are several layers of security from that the application level to the virtual system levels to the physical level as well at the data center itself. So there are many levels of protection that are implemented. And at Dassault Systèmes, we do the same, right? We not only apply 5 layers of security to the data, but we comply with all standards when it comes to cybersecurity, and we keep a tight monitoring system approach into cybersecurity.
Yeah, when you said what's more secure, 100 laptops and people working on them, or the people working on the cloud with all these layers of security. So that was pretty clear to me what's more secure. That was a good explanation. And right now in society, we're focused on clean energy, which we all know in the mining industry means a greater demand for metals, and they can be critical minerals. I like to say all minerals are critical, but they can be critical minerals and other. But the reality is we've got to find more deposits and accelerate that. And I think Dassault and GEOVIA talk about that, enabling that in some ways. So
yes, that's true. Yeah, lots has been talked about, the energy switch, the so-called energy switch from fossil fuels to renewables, and that's great. That's great. But I think leaders, worldwide leaders, I think they are forgetting to look at how we are going to build all the infrastructure required to actually switch to renewables. I think, don't get me wrong, I think we need to do that. But I think looking at the amount of minerals we have to mine in the next, so to achieve the 2050 targets, is incredible. To hit the targets that were imposed by worldwide leaders. So I think demand for mining is high and will remain high, but are we gonna be able to really switch completely? Not sure, because the amount of critical minerals or minerals in general that need to be mined is enormous.
And I mean, your background in resource evaluation and there are resources identified in the world, but there are other issues, say in developing those resources. But the systems you're working with, the resource evaluation is a big part of that, and I thought it was interesting applying the the 3D approach, not just to what we would traditionally look at from a technical perspective, but to a company-wide basis. And so it's from the front end, from resource definition to project development to operations, kind of a,
Yeah.
I don't want to say a one-stop shop, but something that can support all of those.
Yeah. No, that's right. There, like I said, it's the strength of the platform is to connect people and processes and disciplines together, right? But when it comes to sustainability targets, for example, when looking at mine planning, strategic mine planning, traditionally we look at grades and tones, right? Grade is, everybody says grade is king. But going forward, it's not going to be like that. We're going to be having to optimize a mine plan or a strategic mine plan in relation to, to aspects like geometallurgical aspects that translates into emissions at the end of the day, right? Geometallurgical factors like grindability or hardness will translate in energy or new energy, water consumption, and of course into at the end of the day into emissions. So in future, for example, we could see that mineral deposits or more specifically, in a mineral deposit, blocks that are considered uneconomical or borderline from a conventional cost perspective today, they could become economical when considered from a multitude point of view, from the point of view of sustainability as well, right? In terms of, like I said, energy consumption and water consumption too. So these are concepts that we as miners we need to, and technology developers, we need to start putting into our processes and workflows. And certainly we at Dassault Systèmes GEOVIA are doing that. And we're going to be seeing much more going forward.
Yeah, it's for me, my background is project work, and yeah, there's still very much the traditional method of evaluating a resource to determine if it is viable, and things like rate of return, but not taking into account some of the long-term benefits, some of the open at depth scenarios, some of the real opportunities. But this seems to me like a much broader approach beyond the traditional evaluations we normally would use.
Yeah, look, it has to be, because the challenge is huge, and I think it is time that the mining industry, the mining industry has to adapt to new ways of doing business, right? From attracting talent to adapting to new conditions or demands of society, to adapt to new business models and engagement models that essentially are required or will be more required to stay in business. So we are living this transformation. This is happening and will intensify going forward, because as I said before, the demand for minerals is increasing dramatically, and we'll need to find new deposits quicker than we ever found before, and start mining them, the first ore, from exploration to first ore, quicker than we ever done. And like I said before, worldwide leaders, I think, were a little bit, forgetting about how we're going to fuel or enable the energy switch. But I think they are realizing now that mining plays a critical role. An example of that is that the UN last year in September, about mid-September, they released a critical Minerals Act, the UN, essentially that to call for action for finding new deposits and start developing new mines faster than before in Europe. And one example, as not sure if it's one example, but the Imerys is a mining company based in Europe, that they have now a project for a lithium mine in the center of France. So this is going to be the first mine at that scale, a mine scale, in France over 100 years or so, I would say. So this, of course, is a result, if you like, of that wake-up call, right? Europe and other centers need to find critical minerals faster and more, even much more than we ever had.
Well, one of the things you mentioned, and I saw it in the notes as well, is about the group taking an active approach in educating and attracting people to the field. So there are some initiatives ongoing that Dassault is introducing people to the industry and attracting people to the industry.
Yeah, exactly. And again, here the platform helps, and the cloud and the new technologies help to secure knowledge and know-how. In the mining industry, we are seeing that there is a decline in students taking mining engineering and geology courses, and this is alarming because there will be a gap in terms of knowledge and know-how. There is a smart generation that has been leading the mining industry for many years, but there will be a point in which this generation will retire, and I'm afraid that there will be a gap to take over all this knowledge to continue, right, and innovating and taking and leveraging all this knowledge and know-how. And here technology can help to secure knowledge and know-how, so that new generations can carry on from that point and not having to to start from scratch. And certainly Dassault Systèmes has an education program that essentially facilitates and fosters education and specialization to secure knowledge and know-how throughout the utilization of our solutions, of course.
Yeah, I think it seems counterintuitive to us that we see the demand coming for minerals, and we see the demand for technical support on all fronts, and we see this as being a solution to some societal challenges we have, and yet attracting young people to the industry is as big a challenge as ever. But people like technology, and
yeah, exactly.
And I can see that as being an attractive route
That's
for young
exactly
engineers.
that's another need, another reason for the industry to embrace technology. It's only by embracing technology that we're gonna be able to attract new talent to this industry. We need to allow young professionals to do their job in a technologies, well, leveraging technology in the same way that other industries have been doing, right? We need to attract young professionals to a type of job that they see as modern, attractive, interesting, using technology that they use at home or across other types of activities they do. And at the moment, on top of that, the mining industry unfortunately has a bad reputation. It has a reputation of being the villain out of this, carbon emissions and so forth. But we are part of the solution. We need to change the story. We need to tell a better story. We are part of the solution. We just talked about a few minutes ago that we need to mine as like we never mined before, just to enable one generation of renewable energy. I say one generation because how many years does a solar panel last? How many years does a wind turbine last? Maybe 20, 30 years, right? And just to build a first generation of renewables, we need to mine a lot using the current state-of-the-art technology. Yes, in future there may be new materials or new methodologies for storing energy for battery that we don't know yet. Yes, that's possible. But with the technology we have today, to enable just one generation of renewables, the amount of minerals we need to mine is enormous.
I liked your I liked your comment there. We have to mine like we've never mined before. I haven't heard it said quite that way, but that really hits home, and really interesting points about how we attract young people to the industry. I expect that some of this technology that some of us see as as out of this world, young people would see as everybody's doing it. So it may not the 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 change in the technology adoption won't be as much of a challenge to a younger generation. I'm generalizing there, but I think that seems to make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it does. And look, there are examples across the industry that corroborate that. For example, remote operation centers, many mining companies have implemented. And indeed, this has been attracting a different type of professionals, right? And by the way, this new type of job requires new types of skills. So the skills that are going to be required in the future are going to be different. And people say, oh, with automation, etc., we are not going to need as much people. I disagree. We'll need people, but with a different set of skills, because we need people to build the system, to build the robots, to build the the cyber physical systems that will enable that automated mind. So, and here again, we go back to the education and the formation of young professionals. I think the skill sets required are going to be different, and we need to facilitate that to young professionals to skill up and be part of the industry.
Well, it's been a great discussion, Gustavo, and uh, a lot of interesting things, some pretty broad topics we've dealt with in terms of the industry. Uh, in closing, is there anything you'd like to sum up to leave our audience with?
Well, I think the main message I'd like to leave out there is that yes, the demand for mining is increasing and is gonna stay for longer. We need to attract talent to this industry. And from the Dassault System perspective, I would like to say that we are thinking and developing products, not only thinking about the today, the now, but to the future, right? We are building solutions that really take into account sustainability concepts from the get-go. Like I said before, the example I gave you in terms of strategic mine planning, but there are many others across mine design, for example, and geology and hydrogeology and water quality that we can illustrate. So I think the important message, final message, is that we are thinking of today how we help our clients, miners today, with the challenges they've got today, but we are pretty much developing solutions for the future, for that future in which we'll have to take into account not only grade, but also other factors, take other factors into account to really optimize mines and develop those mines.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Gustavo, and I love that, building solutions for the future. So doing what we need to do now, but keeping in mind where we need to go, and mining like we've never mined before. So thank you so
Exactly.
much for joining us today. It was a great discussion.
All right. Thank you, Roy. Appreciate the time taken for the interview.
And in closing, of course, special thanks to our sponsors, Savana Equipment and Corporate Traveler Canada, for supporting the Crownsman Heavy Industry World Tour. And thank you for joining us on another great Mining Now show.